Greatest of all time, right there, Charlie Chaplin. You know, I lost a bet. I lost $6, or maybe I was in Pagosa Springs, and we got into this discussion of the top 10 greatest of all time athletes. And there's a great place in Pagosa Springs, literally some springs. If you can ever get out to Colorado and check that out, it is amazing. Like that, that's worth the trip. But anyway, we got into this discussion of the best athletes, the greatest GOATs, greatest of all time, G.O.A.T.S. And we went back and forth. You know, of course, I have mine, like Muhammad Ali, Tiger Woods. We just went back and forth. We ended up we could not agree to the tennis person, and then we made a bet. The waiter came in. I put $6 or $7 down. I said, okay, here we go. Tell me, and whoever we could not. We couldn't agree who was the greatest tennis player of all time, and then we put it into the hands of the waiter. And I said that the greatest of all time was John McEnroe, and I said, okay. And the bet was if he came back and said anybody female, they won. If it was a male, then I won. So greatest of all time comedians, and this is something I care a lot about. So tell me who you think is the greatest of all time tennis player, and I'll tell you who. Anyway, comics. Who are the greatest of all time comics? Now, these are the people that I admire the most. Some of these people, we could talk about, obviously when we have, this guy. I mean, every time you talk about comics, this guy, he's either number one or number two. Robin Williams, rest in peace. I don't think that we can overplay or overstate the impact that this beautiful, brilliant man and Robin Williams had on modern comedy. But this video are the people who I the most admired. So I'm going to start with my personal favorite. And again, my criteria is the impact and the strength. And so here we go. This may surprise you, but I'm going to show my cards here. Where am I from? This is Argus Hamilton. Let me tell you why this guy belongs in the top 10. Now, Argus Hamilton here, again, I'm going to show my cards. I'm from Oklahoma. He's from Oklahoma. I grew up reading his syndicated column. I met him when I was in the LA Comedy Store. Really, really nice guy. But let me tell you why he is so, he belongs in the top 10, and he probably will not be in most people's top 10. He's a very political, and sometimes people don't like political comics, but if you think about what he's done, where he has been the opening act at the LA Comedy Store for how many fucking years, dude? Can you imagine how strong of a comic you would have to be the first or second guy out at the LA Comedy Store for as long as he has done it? So here's the equivalent. Imagine if you were a tribe of Indians, okay? Get it? Native American, Oklahoma, tribe of Indians. What if there was one guy that was the first to meet the battle? Like, you had to send the first clown out, the first guy to meet, the warring tribe. And comedy is one of the hardest things I cannot stress how hard it is. Imagine the first comic or the first guy you would send if you were the warring chief and you had to send the first guy out, how strong of a guy that would be to kind of bring everybody in, to kind of bring and to let everybody know we're here to have a good time. And how many comics have killed only because he warmed them up? So Argus Hamilton, greatest of all time. So Charlie Chaplin, we got Pryor. Here we go. This is the comics that I think that I admire the most. Now, this one will surprise you, but what this guy is doing and has done, holy shit! And then, you might not know this, but this is his motto. I mean, this guy is literally an ambassador of peace using comedy. This is the power of comedy. And I remember even, way before #MRA, my children and I, we would watch him and we would laugh. And, now that I'm post #MRA, I mean, those are the experiences that I cherish. And how many people how many people have a fluffy story where you can say, I laughed with my son, or I laughed with my dad, and so what Fluffy is doing, again, he's not really given a lot of credit, but he's right up there with the greatest of all time. Here's a guy, this is not one, Russell Peters. I'm going to show you this video here. This is one of the funniest things you can see. One reason why I admire him the most is his stage presence. Again, I said comedy is one of the hardest fucking things you could ever do. If you want to see a person who's just a natural comic that's fucking tearing it up and does it so naturally.
Some Asian people, that's good. You Chinese? Yeah. Woo! Saying that could be your last name. Woo! That's who can't do business together. Chinese people and Indian people cannot do business together. Because Indians cannot live without a bargain, and Chinese people cannot give you a bargain. Their objective is to get every penny from you, and ours is to keep every penny. There's a really bad power struggle there. I went to the...
Again, when I talk about just how easy he makes it look, and then, this guy, he's he's my prior. I think he's a lot of people's prior, Dave Chappell. How do you, he's as close, he's like my Michael Jordan. He's the Michael Jordan of comedy, but it's Dave Chappell. Because, I wasn't really around when Pryor and Robin Williams were out there. But man, this guy, he's so fucking good, it's intimidating. And what he's done and how effortless he makes it. And not just this, but he's a fucking brilliant guy. I've seen several interviews where I'm just like, shit. He's one of those guys that's so good that he can intimidate the fuck out of you, where you're like, nah, I really don't think I got it. And so this guy, he's Dave Chappelle is right up there. And then Charlie Chaplin, man, I got to go back to Charlie Chaplin. A lot of times people, they go straight to, Richard Pryor. But, talking about Charlie Chaplin, let me go to one of the best speeches of all time. And again, it started with this. And let me just show you the power of comedy. I'm not going to play the video, but man, if you ever can turn off the news, turn off CNN, and watch this speech and listen to this speech, holy shit. You want to see Charlie Chaplin use the power of fucking comedy. Holy fuck. The power of comedy. These guys belong there. And Argus Hamilton, again, leading the fight for how many years. And he's still kicking, man. And he came up to me at the LA Comedy Store and just so humble and so I'm like, holy shit. Again, he's not one of those guys that you think of as one of the, you don't hear a lot of people say Argus Hamilton, but I'll tell you, dude, to do what he's done and to do it for as long as he's done, I think he has several years of sobriety. Holy shit, Argus Hamilton, we salute you. One of the, few great Oklahomans. We have Garth Brooks, we have Argus Hamilton. Again, Argus Hamilton doesn't get a lot of the respect that he deserves. But when you talk about the greatest of all time, you're going to see people like this. You're going to see people like this. But this guy needs to be there too. Thank you, Argus, for being such a fucking cool guy when I came and talked to you, man. And in fact, when I was there, he's like, look me up on Facebook. So I may put this on Facebook. And if I can't find him, then you put him on there. Because, this is one of those guys that I believe just doesn't get enough credit. And, if there's one thing I want to do in this channel is I want to send light and love. And I want to say, man, when I see brilliance, then I'm gonna call it out. Argus Hamilton. Boom. You guys be good.